Boker Tov, Shalom, welcome to Yeshiva Nar Shalom in Jerusalem. I'm Avraham Shira, and we're beginning a new week of Torah. It's always exciting because we're beginning a new Torah as well. Our goal of our Patreon group every day is that we learn a piece of Likutei Moharan, one paragraph at a time, and we're going to do the whole thing. It might take us about 6 years, we'll see. But right now we're at Torah Lamed Dalet in the first section, and it's amazing Torah, and I call it the heart of the psychic network. If we can understand the basics of what we're going to learn here today, you will see how interconnected we really are. So the Torah begins with a famous line from the Chumash, Atem tiyuli mamlechet kohanim. You, the Jews, will be a nation of priests. V'goy kadosh, and a holy nation. Eile devarim asher tidabru el bnei Yisrael. These are the things God said to Moses that you will tell the Jews. You will tell the Jews, you're going to be a holy nation. You're going to be my de facto government, if you will. Mamlechet Kohanim. Literally a government of priests. I don't think that fits too well to the American paradigm, right? Separation of church and what? State? No, but this is the Torah. This is long before America was even dreaming itself into being. Okay, so that's the headline. Like all of Rebbe Nachman's Torahs, he gives you a headline, and then he sails away from it into all kinds of ideas, and then the whole thing loops back to the headline, and you see how it all connects, which is part of this tapestry of Torah, this process that we go through. So the first paragraph, Kativ, it's written in Tehillim, Cherpa shavra libi, that shame broke my heart. I think everybody's experienced a little bit of shame that breaks your heart. And he's going to give us the solution. How do we fix this brokenheartedness, this shame when we get our feelings hurt? He tells us, he repeats the idea that the embarrassment and shame breaks a person's heart. You know? And the repair for this, he attaches his heart. What does this mean? That we have this heart, this feeling center called our heart, right? It's a metaphor because it's our feeling processor is right here in our chest, okay? The thought processor is up here in the mind. Now, what happens is when someone embarrasses us, we take it hard. We take it in the heart. It hurts down here. It doesn't hurt up here. It hurts down in the heart. And he says, how do we fix it? Well, we take that heart, the feeling center, and we connect to that moment in time when the shame is coming. So let's say you say, Avraham, you're an old man, you have a white beard. I said, I don't feel too old, I feel pretty good actually. I'm still doing my push-ups, right? But the point is that the shame, I take it, I say, well, maybe I am old. Maybe I'm as old as Adam because every soul was born in the beginning. All the souls were born in the beginning in one gush, one collection called Adam Arishon, the first man. And then every generation is a new layer of that skyscraper of souls. A new coma, a new floor. Okay, and each generation unfolds with new souls, but we're all from one soul. Okay, and so really, if someone asks you how old you are, you should say, well, I'm 5,782. Right? See how that goes over. Okay? אתה בן 5,782, no? אתה נולד באדם הראשון. זה רבי בועז, זו אחד מהמקובלים שלנו. If you give the מקובל a little bit of attention, he runs away. That's the sign, right? Remember that. Okay. Now, so when we take our heart and we attach to the moment of the pain, we don't run from the pain. We don't run from the shame. We actually take our heart, our feeling center, and say, wow, let's feel this pain. Let's connect to it. Let's unite our general ability to feel with the pain and be with the shame and understand it. Why did I get shamed right now? Because usually when we get shamed, it's God preparing a new vessel to receive a new light. Remember that. When you get your feelings hurt, it's really the way that God prepares us to receive a new light, because the pain makes an empty space in our heart. And that empty space is now the place that holds a new light of the awareness of God. Okay, so you see, it's a good deal. If you can just get through the moment of pain, you're going to get a new awareness of Hashem, a new light of God. So that's what we're here for. Okay, so that's the first paragraph. Pretty good, huh, Dave? Our friend Dave is
exactly what I need to hear, and my sister needs to hear.
Oh, well. So we have a general principle. That the governance is a fancy word for governing, right? The governance is in the hands of the tzaddik to do what he wants to do. In other words, there's an operation happening behind the scenes of this world. How the will of Hashem is translated into human consciousness.
Right.
That we do these things and we don't do these things. Simple, right? So the tzaddik, he's the one who can push some buttons to get things to happen, good things to happen. Okay? Now, and he brings a verse to support that in Tzaddik Moshel Be'irat Hashem, that the righteous rule with their awe. See, when you contact, I've seen some of these rabbis, when they're in a moment of awe, you don't step over the threshold. You don't get in their face. You don't ask questions. When a person's in a moment of awe, you let him stay there. Because he's in a moment of revelation. No matter how large or small, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay? So he rules through his awe. Because when a tzaddik has awe of Hashem, it's actually translating the awe to the other people in the world. And that's how the rulership really takes place. Okay, now. And this is the idea of Yosef, a tzaddik in Egypt, right? Pharaoh's little prisoner, he takes him out of prison and makes him the second commander of the biggest empire of the known world at the time.
Wow.
So Yosef, who a shalit means Yosef, he has this power to rule with his awe.
Right.
Once Pharaoh gets it, that this guy knows dreams, this guy's close to God, he understands, I'm going to let him run the country, right? That's Tzaddik Moshel Be'irat Hashem. So that's the classic example of that is Yosef a Tzaddik. V'hu shorash klaliyut nishamot Yisrael. But now he tells us where the network is, folks. The psychic network is the root of all the general souls, that inclusive soul that I mentioned before. The soul of what we call Adam or Rishon, the first man. That's the whole network. And we live in the network. And we live between levels too. When we go up, we push other people up. When we go down, unfortunately, we drag others with us, God forbid. But the point is that we're on this fluid network of soul power, if you will. And the tzaddik, he's at the center of all, he's like the mainframe for all the little PCs. You know, imagine how many PCs there are in Apple headquarters. Right? And they're all being run by one central unit. Right. That central unit is the Klaliyut, Nishamot, Yisrael, which is the soul of the tzaddik.
Wow.
So he sits in the middle of all those other little PCs. That's us, folks. But listen to how he proves it.
How?
He says, "Vehem anafim shelo umekablim mimenu." They are his branches. And they receive, just like the branches receive from the whole network of the feeding of the tree, so too all of us little souls out here on the leaves are receiving from the roots all the way back through time. Not just in our generation, certainly in our generation. We're conscious of it. We're attached to the leaders. We're attached to the truly righteous. Then we receive from them, but they're receiving from people before and people before all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. ועיקר הממשלה להעיר, להתעורר ליבם, לעבוד את השם יתברך. And the main idea of this tzaddik is to arouse and inspire people to come closer to God, to serve God in whatever way. להתעורר ליבם, to arouse the heart, לעבוד את השם, כמו שכתוב, וישמע השם כל יהודו ואל עמו יביאנו. Now this pasuk, this one pasuk explains the psychic network. Vishma Mordechai, don't leave. Don't leave. אתה מבין אנגליזי.
Yes.
Vishma Hashem kol Yehuda. Yehuda, the tzaddik, Yehuda, screamed. God heard. But what did he do? They took Yehuda's voice with the El Amo Yevienu. They brought his voice to all the people. Understand? In one sentence. Vishma Hashem Kol Yehuda Ve'el Amo Yevienu. And to the people hear the voice of the tzaddik. They hear the voice of Yehuda, the son of Jacob, screaming out. All of Egypt. The Midrash says that people were terrified when he screamed. That his hair stood out on his chest.
The whole Egypt.
The whole of Egypt, not just the Jews.
And the castle of Paro was shaking.
Right, exactly. So that proves that we live on this network that's connected to each other, and especially to this tzaddik who's at the middle of the story. In this case, he brings the example of Yehuda. Va'inu la'ir. But what's he here to do? Why do we hear his voice? He's going to tell us who won the game tonight? No. La'ir ha'erat Atzadek ba'anafim. To arouse the branches of the tree with the light of the tzaddik. That you get a piece of him. That your soul, your mind, your psychic network clicks and links in to the bigger soul of the righteous.
Wow.
Belev Yisrael, and that's called Lev Yisrael, the heart of the Jews. So the heart of the Jews is like, this is where the blood is going out into the body. Just like a tree, right? The roots are pulling out the nourishment from the soil and giving it out to the branches. So too, the tzaddik, he's like that heart. And he's giving over the psychic power through thought to each person who's connected to the tree. Yeah. So all we got to do is get connected. Now, do I need to be him? No. Do I need to be the greatest? No. That's the wrong idea. Right. That's arrogant. What we need to do is receive who we are. Right. Each person in their place to do their job and to do it happily and to do it well. And that's it. The tzaddik abanafim ayinu belev Yisrael el amo tevienu. This is, he brings the voice of Yehuda to the people. And this happens in every generation. Okay. And you see, Rabbi Nachman was chosen to reveal all this material 210 years ago. But doing so,
come right back.
He's like the tzaddik for all the other tzaddikim to teach them how the system works. So it's an amazing sefer. Join us on Patreon. We're learning it every day. Tomorrow we're going to continue with this Torah. It goes on pages after pages. It's endless. And when we get to the end, guess what? We'll still forget the beginning, so we'll have to do it again. But there's a lot of work to be done. It'd be great to see you over there on Patreon. Check me out also on YouTube, on Facebook. We have live classes going on here and there and everywhere. So, like today. So have a great week. Take your heart. Your heart is your connection to the whole network. Open it and you will see the connection. God bless you all. All the best.